You're listening to the 702 Gaming Podcast, episode number 25. I'm your host, Jacob, and today we're joined by Josh, J-Mac.
What's up?
What's up, man?
Glad to be
You've been
back.
busy.
I know, but glad to be back. I'm excited.
Yeah, we're glad to have you, especially these next couple episodes. I think one of them's right up your alley. We'll talk about that later.
We'll
But
get there.
for now, on this episode, we're going to talk about some subjects that our Twitter followers requested. So that's very cool. So for the two guys that put these on there, thank you. We're going to talk about it today. One is Gamepass Hidden Gems, or Sleepers, if you will. And then Elden Ring speedruns, which has been a thing lately. So first, let's get into Gamepass Hidden Gems. Do you play a lot of Game Pass on PC or Xbox?
So I don't tend to jump around in games too much in general. I kind of grab onto my few and just and play those. So I do not. I know the Game Pass is awesome. The value is there. I don't know. I guess I don't put enough time to play all the different games. So
That makes sense, though. The games you play are time investment type games anyways.
right.
So like Destiny, that type of stuff, like you're going to be sitting down there doing that for a while. So yeah, it makes sense. And Destiny with all its DLC used to be on Game Pass, but they took it off a few months back, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that goes down the free.
Unfortunately
That goes.
for
That
me,
kind of
because
goes.
then I'd be-
Unfortunate for you, but it does go down the free to play kind of alley feel. That
Yeah,
maybe
if it stays on there.
they're getting away with. Anyway, we'll get to that later.
That's true, though. Yeah, that's stick with us next episode. We're going to be talking about Bungie and Destiny in particular. But for this, I made a list of Game Pass games because I do hop around every time a game hits Game Pass. I download it. I at least try it out.
Right.
There's quite a bit of games that I just delete after 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So, but not to say they're bad games. They just aren't for me. I'm sure there's a lot of people that just love tiny little indie games and stuff. And sometimes they're good. Sometimes it's hit or miss. But I made a list of games that are indie, or at least not AAA games that people may not have heard about. And let me know if you've heard of any of these, and we'll kind of go through the list. And if you're listening and you have Game Pass on PC or Xbox, I'd suggest maybe writing these down or something and then just trying them out. Like I said, what are you going to waste? 15 minutes of your time, delete it.
Right.
So one of the first ones that I wanted to mention was What Remains of Edith Finch. Okay. We'll just go back through this list. So What Remains of Edith Finch, Telling Lies, Last Stop, Gorogowa, Echo One, Donut County, and Deep Rock Galactic. So have you heard or played any of those games, Josh?
You are way off base with me here. But
So
I'll go through with you, and maybe I'll give my book by a cover. Judge the book by a cover kind of.
Would it be something that you even are interested in? Okay, so What Remains of Edith Finch is a first-person story-based game where you start out in the forest and you go and you find your house that you grew up in. And as you explore this house, it's like a puzzle game where you figure out how to get into each room. And as you get into each room, you find out more about each family member that lived in each room. And it kind of does flashbacks, but it's in an artistic style where you're kind of using your imagination. So like one room, you might turn into a bird and you fly around. And as you're flying as a bird, it's unfolding this story about, I can't remember, like your grandmother or something, right? And as you go through this house, there's a basement and there's all these kind of crazy rooms in it, and it goes up and up and up, and you get to the very top of the tower, and it explains the whole story. It's a really cool, like I said, puzzle game, exploration game. Okay. There isn't, I don't think, any combat or anything like that, but it's just got really cool writing, and the way it lays itself out is really different and unique. And that was actually a game I didn't put down. I just played it all the way through. I really liked it.
So was that, how many hours did it take you? Because it looks like, even from just looking at, again, judging kind of a book by its cover here and what you're saying, It's like a playable movie here, or playable scenes. It wasn't really. It was a kind of puzzler, mind bender. Is that?
Yeah,
I can dig it.
like as you go through, you could see like pictures on the wall and things throughout the house that kind of give you hints to what your family was like. And as you go into each room, then you might read their journal, but it's not, you don't just read it. It'll like put you in the journal and then you are doing something unique.
Okay.
It changes up the gameplay throughout the game, right? You might turn into an animal and go through a forest. You might be in that same room, but you're miniaturized, like a bunch of weird stuff like that. One room, I think you go into a comic book type thing. I would say it's probably a shorter game, maybe a 4-hour game, something like that. Yeah. So if you're looking for achievements and just a cool story, that's one that I really liked. What Remains of Edith Finch. So if you're interested in that type of game,
yeah.
I don't know if you like that type of stuff.
I mean, I like puzzle. I like puzzle and kind of figuring that stuff out in games, and I mean that's all we did in the retro area, right? It was called.
True.
Yeah, everything was a puzzle back then. Anyway,
but see, no, I'm not really into puzzles. I get frustrated. But that game kept me locked in enough where I played through the whole thing.
Yeah, I just don't. The mind bending kind of thing. I mean, it sounds cool as you like maybe turn into the bird and then like be shrunken. It's a little Alice in Wonderland ish, right?
Hey,
mind
that's
bending.
A good way to explain the game.
Yeah,
it is very Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, but that's cool, and it's you don't hear a lot about games that don't really have. So what's the end objective there? Because it just sounds like you kind of just go through.
Yeah, to learn about all your family and kind of learn what happened to you yourself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then it explains it at the end. So the next one on our list, or on my list, is Telling Lies. That one's pretty new. It has some actors in it, recognizable actors. Now, this is a weird one, and I wouldn't say this is for everyone, but it was for me. It was one that I almost deleted after the first 10 minutes. But, yeah. After I stuck with it, I loved it. It's called Telling Lies. So I can't remember the actor's name, but he was like in some older shows, but he was in Prometheus. He was one of the ones that got what Michael Fassbender dipped the black goo in his drink. No, he dipped the little gray stuff in his drink and ended up mutating the dude, and they lit him on fire outside of the spaceship. So it was pretty nasty, but he's in this. He's like the main character. Basically what you're doing on this is it's a dashboard of a computer, and you have files and you have all these clips that are kind of YouTube clips, but it's actually just clips that the computers have recorded, right? So there's just tons of recordings. The only way you find the recordings is to search in a search tab a word or a phrase, like you would in Google, and you piece together this story. So whatever you're searching for is what kind of videos are going to pull up, and you just sit there and search through videos, but you end up figuring out the whole story eventually. It's really interesting. If you can hang in there. Like I said, I don't think this is for everyone, but it's real video and it's cool, the different characters and bouncing around, and you find out about even your own character near the end. You start discovering it. It's pretty unique.
So similar to the last game, you kind of adventure.
It's one where you just puzzle. Really sit there and you slowly discover everything. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
You like Clue, huh? Clue was your favorite game?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Who kills who with what and where.
Starting to get a theme here.
And then you're like, while you're playing Clue, you realize someone had like misplaced a card, and so everyone keeps guessing the candlestick. And it's like, why? I know it's not the candlestick, but someone just lost the card. That was a cool one. Last Stop. I do think you're right, Josh. There's a theme going here that I like these type of games, but check them out if you like them. Last Stop.
Are these all around? Sorry to interrupt you, but are these all around that 4-hour mark? Would you say? I mean, like your whole list is. What's your average? Is under 5 hours? Easy.
Yeah.
Okay. Or about. I mean, I can't say easy because I guess it depends on the player.
Those first two were probably about the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this last one, or this next one's called Last Stop. So this one is like a Telltale type game where you walk around third person ish, or where, Telltale style, where you walk around, you talk to people, you have dialogue, you choose. But this one jumps between 3 or 4 characters, and the storylines all connect near the end of the game.
So you play
But
as all 4?
You play as all 4, but in
okay.
different chapters,
Yeah.
and it jumps back and forth, and then you realize that they're all connected in this really weird way. It connects in like a sci-fi-ish type way. Really good writing, really good voice acting. By the end, it was really cool. And I would say same. It's probably longer than 4 hours, that one, because there is a lot of chapters, but that was one I didn't put down either. I really like that.
It sounds
you like Telltale games?
Yeah, I mean, and it was like, I don't know, Grand Theft Auto did that. Right, you got to play as you did the chapters against the three different characters.
That was probably my favorite part of that game.
Points of view, and then you work together, and that was neat. So yeah.
What's your favorite Telltale game? Do you remember one that you really?
I don't know.
Because I could tell you mine. The Batman games, the Borderlands game is probably my favorite Telltale, and then Wolf Among Us. I really liked.
I don't know if I really just played a lot of those outside of, I don't know, top 10 games. I
think some of their most popular are the Walking Dead series.
Yeah,
the Telltale.
It's not really.
Didn't really get it.
Yeah, I guess I don't gravitate at first. I'm just more. Just let me shoot stuff.
Okay, yeah. There's none of that.
I know that's.
Well, same with this one. So this ain't going to be up your alley, but this is Gorogowa. It's a puzzle game where you're almost looking at like a coloring book type. I don't know. The art style kind of shifts around, but it's just a really unique looking game. You zoom in and out of different objects, and like say you zoom into a guy's holding a book and you zoom into the book. You might go into the book or into that picture, and there will be like a person at a park, and you do things that affect the guy outside reading the book. And you just continue down this path. It never transitions. It's always transitioning from what you're doing. So it's really cool all the way to the end. The story, couldn't tell you what it was about, but it was just a really cool puzzle game, as in like a visual puzzle game.
Oh, you didn't get like the underlying story or what it is?
It's real weird. You're like collecting light sources.
I bet you that's part of something
really
else
understand.
if you just figure out with Gorogowa.
I think,
how do you say it?
Gorogowa.
Gorogowa. If you just search Gorogowa, I'm sure it's like something you can.
Man, at the end, I think it shows like a dragon parade, like type thing. Don't know what that means.
The Eye of the Dragon. I don't know. This is a big.
I do not have no idea. I have no clue.
Yeah. All right.
If you like just puzzle visual games, that's a chill one. Just get your achievements, chill out, relax. Echo 1 is another one that's kind of like that. You're this weird UFO that humans built based on alien technology, and basically all you are is this Flight of the Navigator looking spaceship. Pee Wee Herman is not driving it in this one. Remember that Flight of the Navigator? The little robot navigator, he would do like Pee Wee Herman's voice. Anyways, the kid got on that alien ship, that silver alien ship. You don't remember that movie?
I don't think so.
Google it real quick, or you'll remember it.
Which way? Say it again.
The Flight of the Navigator.
I think I do.
But the ship reminded me of that because you're this silver, like chrome orb thing that can change shape and glide and go underwater and shoot yourself up. Basically, you just get to each planet and you make it to the next planet. That's all it is. It's a super chill game.
Okay. Now I see what you probably shouldn't have looked this up. Actor robbed the bank. Apparently, that kid. Oh, really? Oh my God!
You're saying he didn't save his money from that movie? He had to go rob a bank?
It says the Navigator child actor charged after robbing bank and wig. Oh my God! I was not expecting that, dude.
Wow.
Okay.
Is he still alive?
That's your fault for making me. Look
Did he get shanked in prison? Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know if he's still alive. We're off the rails now, though.
Yeah.
I see what you're
That's
saying. I
all.
went back to the game and I saw that. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So it's kind of like that. Donut County is kiddish, but it's pretty chill as well. Just a hidden gem as far as complete the whole thing. You're like, oh, that was pretty chill. You play as a girl and a raccoon that talk to each other. The You start out at different places within this county in this little town, and you're a little hole in the ground, and you just move the hole around. Well, you gobble up stuff. Like the physics are cool. The
Oh
way, like, if
yeah.
you go under a chair, the chair gets eaten up, and every time you eat something, the hole gets bigger. Well, the object is everywhere you go, you have to figure out how to eat everything on the map. So you got to start smaller and get bigger, bigger, bigger. You end up eating buildings and just huge objects, right? And then the story's funny because everyone and everything you've eaten is underground in this hole. And so in between levels, it'll do like funny commentary down in that hole. They're like, "What are we doing down here? Like, who's doing this?" And it's you the whole time. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
That's I
It's a
think
cool chill
I've
game.
seen like phone games and io games that have that
Similar
kind
to
of
that.
yeah, that mechanic of
Yeah,
swallowing things up. I'm looking at the screenshots. It's pretty cool. I like the artwork.
yeah. It's
The
got a weird, like, satisfying way about it. It's just kind of gratifying to swallow up
it's like
everything. It's cool.
lo-fi cartoon art.
Yeah.
I bet it's just
Yep.
like, does it have like, what's the music in the background? Is it like
Yeah. It matches
just like chill electronic lo-fi kind of?
yeah. It
Yeah,
totally matches the art style. It's cool. So
nice.
that's a cool one. The last one I want to mention, this one is a longer game. So this one isn't 4 hours. This is a game you could go back to over and over, and that's Deep Rock Galactic. So you're a space dwarf. It has really interesting art style. It's not pixelated. It's not cell shaded, but it's very, like, jagged, I guess. I don't know how else to explain it. What would that be called? Like low polygon, I guess, kind of jagged looking. I don't know. Uh, but this is 1 to 4 player co-op. You
Oh,
start off in
I
this
see
space
what you're
station
saying.
above a planet, and you shoot out from that space station. You do missions down in these mines, and it shoots you underground. And it's kind of like Red Faction, where everything's destructible. You can
Mm,
dig a hole straight to wherever you need to get, or you can walk around, follow the cave to get wherever you got to go. You got to collect, like, fossils, minerals, all this stuff. They do different things. Each character has different abilities, whether he has 2 giant drills in his hands and he could drill straight through the wall, or a guy that can shoot like a bubble gun up against the wall, make a platform. Someone can do like a monorail type cord that you can go up and down. There's boss battles in it, a bunch of different enemies you could fight, different things that you discover. And when you go back after your mission, because you have a time limit before you have to escape. When you get everything, you call your drill back. You have to find your drill and get back, or you lose everything. But when you get back to the space station, you can then use those items to upgrade your pickaxe, your weapons, because you have different weapons, your armor, all that stuff. It's a cool game to play by yourself or with friends. I would check that out if you like that type of game.
yeah, I'm
Co-op
kind of
stuff.
yeah. That one's it looks pretty good. I see what you're saying about the like soft polygon, like edging. It does kind of have what was the same as like Sea of Thieves ish kind of
Yeah.
texture on their art. I guess just texture is the right word.
Like, they weren't going
Um,
for realism on this.
no, it's how do you say that? Because it there's realism in it, like
Yeah.
the way they do it, but it still kind of has that cartoon edging to it, and it's not your typical lighting, uh, layers of lighting that give that realism on like reflections of a face and yeah. But that's I
And
mean
it's a
the
game too that'll make you laugh too. The things
oh
your characters will say, or drinking beer, or dancing in game. It's pretty
I
funny.
was
Yeah.
literally looking at the screenshot where they're all like toasting with the
Yeah.
mugs. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all
It'll make
frothed
you
up.
laugh.
Yeah,
It's
that's
funny.
pretty cool. No, and the gameplay looks cool. It's like ability weapon based, like you said. Just
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. Each class has different things and stuff, and you could all be the same class. You could pick different classes. It's a good time with friends.
Is it? I kind of see different.
And they
Is
just started seasons, so
oh,
it's a new thing. They have seasons, so they do just like every other game
grinding
where you
dungeons
don't
and
have to
stuff
pay
like
for
that.
anything. You could just play the season and earn a bunch of
Right.
stuff.
Deep Rock Galactic. It's got a lot of. It's actually rated pretty high on a lot of things.
Is it? Yeah, it's a good
IGN
game.
gave it 9. Game Game Grin
It was a game that I
9.5.
had never really heard about until right before Game Pass, but I guess it had already been out for a while, and I downloaded it, and I was
Is it
pleasantly
mainly just
surprised.
first person, or is it, some of the
It
angles?
is, yeah, you could go third person, kind of like Destiny if you do an emote type thing, or
Okay,
certain things will put you in third person, but it's
first.
basically a first person
That's cool
shooter.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's pretty
So
neat.
yeah, check out all those games on Game Pass. Thanks for the suggestion.
Yeah.
The next one we want to talk about is Elden Ring, and it's speed running, I guess. So Elden Ring is a From Software game like Bloodborne, uh, you know, Demon Souls, Dark Souls type of super hard, punishing type
Yeah.
action adventure game. Uh, the other games I never liked. I tried them, but I never got into them. Elden Ring's like enticing me for some reason. It looks pretty good.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't really been drawn to it too much. As I almost got onto Lost Ark. I know those two kind of. I feel like they came
Hmm.
around the same time they released this first quarter anyway. Um, so trying to like intentionally not paying attention to it because I don't need another game like that right now. I would just like stop being an adult and all my responsibilities would fall by the wayside.
Right.
Um, but it's interesting. We're talking about speedrunning. I don't know. I don't understand how somebody's speedrunning it affects the rest of the community. What's the
Me neither.
so?
What's the problem?
Yeah. Do you have an idea? Like,
No, I tried to look online to see what people's issue really is, and I haven't seen anything. But I guess Elden Ring's meant to be a long game. It's,
right,
you die over and over.
right.
But besides even just that, it's just a long game. A lot of bosses, a lot of area to look around at and explore. And I guess people were beating it in 30 minutes.
Good for them.
That's insane. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Bravo,
Like, I
man.
it unless it's like a cheese or cheating, then A, again, good for them, and then B, the devs got to get that under control if that's not their intent for the game. Like games do
And
that
I think
all the time. It's like,
you're
okay,
right.
somebody exposes it, but if you didn't find anything on it, then there's that. I don't think that would be the case because if it was just an exploit or a cheese or something of the similar, cheating, let's call it, the devs would have probably said you would probably found something on that
Well, so I
easily.
think the devs have been nerfing things to make it harder to speedrun lately because they
Oh,
didn't want people doing that.
okay.
But in a single player game, I really don't care if someone can speedrun it. I mean, people speed ran old retro games forever.
Oh, yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah, I don't understand how that would like enrage or make some community members upset, uh, unless, like I said, unless it was broken. I don't. What other reasons would I have to be mad at you because you could do it faster? I
Yeah.
mean, maybe a little jealousy, but that's hard. I mean,
Maybe
I
it's
hope that's not
old,
what's
like
happening.
last gen system players that are upset because it takes them just as long to load into the game as these speedrunners are beating it.
That could be it. That could be
That's
it.
not fair.
That could be
I'm
it. I
still at the
mean,
loading screen.
yeah, I don't know. Hmm. I what I
This is a game I do want to check out though,
is
because the graphics look beautiful. I kind of want to get into. I've always wanted to like those games, but one of the things I didn't like was the fireplaces that you go and you save at were so few in between that if you died or you went and saved at the next fireplace, all the mobs respawned. And I just felt like I just wasted so much time clearing that, and now it's all back. I get the appeal for people that want that, but for me, it's like, man, I've heard Elden Ring has a lot more fire pits, but even that, every time you save for the whole world to just respawn, kind of hurts.
Yeah.
I'm assuming Elden Ring still does that.
Yeah, I know they're supposed to be pretty unforgiving that way. Um, I get it. I've played some type of games that, and I mean, you got to know what you're getting into, you know. And then the only other thing I can think of is that speedrunning said that they're speedrunning the campaign, right?
Yeah.
So speedrunning the campaign must give them something, some type of advantage against the normal community or normal community that's not doing that. In Is there a PvP element somewhere, or they
I
is
don't
there
think so.
is there
If
a
it's like
a
the other
combative?
games, there's like parts that you could kind of upload your gameplay, and like your ghost form will show another player what you're doing. Like in the campaign, if you're stuck at a boss, you could go to an area, at least in the older games, and you could play someone else's ghost and they're showing you what to do, or they'll run to a ledge and say, jump down here, there's a secret. Sometimes they're trolling you, and you would like go follow their ghost, and they're like, jump down here, there's something, and then you jump and you just die, which is pretty funny. They tricked me a couple times like that. uh that's about the only multiplayer that I know about in
Yeah,
these games. Yeah.
yeah. That's all right. Then I'm just as stumped as you are. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. I mean, maybe it's just they're angry at the game overall, or that they're dying and there's not enough save points or checkpoints for them. You know,
These are people that are just naturally frustrated. That's why they're drawn to this game. They're just like, let me be frustrated at something.
I know. I I would
I
say
don't know.
I'm better, but I'll do um, a rating counter for like 3 hours and not beat it and be okay with it. So I don't
Right.
know.
Well, I mean, if this game goes on sale or anything like that, I'll probably end up checking it out just so we could talk about it on here. But for now, I'm gonna leave that one on the back burner. I'm not gonna pay 60, $70 and maybe
Oh
not finish the game. Cyberpunk got me like that. I'm not gonna get got
yeah, and
already, you know.
I is I have to know what the differences are between the two because I know like Lost Ark was free, so that's what
And I've
if I
heard
was
good
gonna play
things
one
about Lost Ark.
if
I
I was
haven't
gonna play
played it.
one.
Is it good?
Yeah, I've watched some friends played it. They streamed it. I've
Okay.
just been hanging out watching them, and it's cool. So
What's
I
the
think
premise of Lost Ark?
as far as like story, I'm not
Well, I
100%, but like
sorry, what gameplay type? Is it like a
oh
survival game or?
uh no, I mean it's like a dungeon crawler, more
Okay.
of Path of Exile. Um, uh, what are other
Diablo?
yeah like
Path of
Diablo.
Exile is like Diablo-esque.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, all those like more MMO, like you're gonna be, playing keyboard and mouse. You're smash when you're in fights. You're just like 1 2 3 4 5 6, 1 2 3 4 5 6.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
it's like that. Yeah.
Spamming abilities and doing things like that. And it's
Okay.
the blimp view, right?
Yeah.
You're in the blimp view there. So I don't think in Elden Rings is that third person?
Elden Ring is third person,
Third
yeah.
person,
Over the shoulder,
not blimp.
over the
So
shoulder like
yeah,
action magic,
right.
bow and arrow type thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So Elden be like that, and you get like a little buddy or something or a little pet. So I've seen people have like wolves and little like coyotes or whatever, different things like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, character. I think there's there's like character like berserkers, like
Customization.
different like
Oh,
builds
different
as far as
classes.
different classes like that. So like
Okay.
I don't want to speak too much into it and just get hammered by my Lost Ark friends that just been going so hard and I've kept out of it. So just
Oh, like you're so wrong.
yeah, just the surface. There's so much more to it. I mean,
Okay.
there's like some base thing you build out for yourself or whatever, and you collect money and you can sell items, and it's super in depth too. So, but like if you've ever played Path of Exile or like that, have you?
Hmm. Yes.
Yeah, and like you bring up your menu screen. There's 400 slots to pick different. You got 20 different jewels and all that. I was
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
a little bit too much while other games are going right now.
Yeah.
But
As a side game, it's really those are hard to get into. As a main game, yeah, sure, there's a lot of depth to them
oh yeah,
and everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like the way you said that though. Definitely
Yeah.
hard to just even start it as a side game because those demand 3-4 hour sittings. you know,
Yep.
consistently.
And if you don't play it for a week or two and you go back to it, you're like, where was I at? What was I trying to
you
do
probably
here?
have 20 quests just blinking. You're like, I don't know where to start.
Yeah,
I don't know what
exactly.
to do.
I do enjoy those games, but yeah, same. I try not to get too involved in them because that's the only game I would end up playing, and I mainly prefer first person shooters type games.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yep.
All right, that was a good discussion. Thank you again for our folks on Twitter. We're at 702 Gaming on Twitter, so follow us there. Hit me up if you guys want us to talk about anything. Otherwise, if you're on YouTube, make sure you're following, subscribing, and hit us up on there too. I think there's a lot of people that watch or listen and don't really say anything to us. But if you want 702gaming@gmail.com, you could always email if you want to just do it that way and just say what's up or whatever. I'll reply to whatever. So just hit us up and we'll see you next week. Later, Josh.
All right, guys.